Man, am I bored. You know, I fancy going for a short hike.
I forgot I live in England, where it always rains. Ugh.
Anyway, this is a short hike.
So after playing and enjoying the game Outer Wilds, I decided to be a little bit more open to indie games. I always saw them as very artsy fartsy sort of games, or just too arcadey to the point of no story. Those two things don't do anything for me, but after Outer Wilds proved that indies can actually meet in the middle, aka a game with an interesting narrative, I decided to give a few more indies a try. It's not like AAA games are going to scratch that itch anytime soon. I mean, Jesus, look at that corporate shitfest that the Avenger game is. I don't think it's anywhere good as what people hope it is. Anyway, after watching a few live streams, I narrowed down the list to a few games, and Short Hike was one of the top ones that interested me. Despite ironically looking like one of them artsy games I complained about earlier, A Short Hike is a 3D adventure game that's a cross between Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild of all things. Yeah, I'm not joking, it doesn't look like it in the trailers, but it's surprisingly the closest thing to Breath of the Wild than most of the clones that actually try to rip it off. You play as Claire, a bird person who looks like she came straight out of an Animal Crossing game. She's taken some time off at a national park with her Aunt May, a park ranger there. One day she wakes up telling her aunt about a phone call she's going to receive. Her aunt tells her she won't receive a signal unless she gets to the peak, thus starting the short hike. Yeah, so the whole point of this hike is to receive a phone call. That's it. That's the whole motivation. The game is basically Claire getting ready to climb the mountain. If she could just reach the top of the mountain straight off the bat, the game would be less than 2 minutes. Trust me, I've done it, but getting to the top is so worth it. So what is the rest of the game then? Well, it's a collective fun. You gather golden feathers to try and increase Claire's movement abilities. In the game, she can double jump, climb any surface and glide for as long as she wants. Claire can also get more items to gain more abilities such as digging, hitting stuff and fishing. Yeah, not the most impressive abilities, but these items lead to Claire gaining more feathers or money. Yes, there's money in this game as well, which can be used to buy quest items, feathers or even hats for Claire. This game is a brilliant little adventure, but it does have some minor issues. The biggest thing that will turn people off this game, and it nearly did for me, is the graphics are shit. Not the art style itself, the graphics. It's got this filter that tries to make it look like a low polygon game. I think it was going for an N64 or PS1 look, but honestly it reminds me more of The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass on DS. The models look too good for PS1 and the colour usage is far too good as well. Still, don't get me wrong, it's not an ugly game, far from it. I really enjoyed simple look but yet complex use of colours. I just don't like the filter on it. The camera could be a touch wonky in parts as well. It's not a game breaker or anything, it just gets awkward on certain angles, but that's when it gets deep in the cracks of the island and such. And finally, this game is very short. It took me an hour to finish the main story and that's doing with a lot of quests as well. Not quite 100%ing it, but it was very close. I feel like this game was kind of a demo of it really, but it just got turned into a full game.
So despite its short length, I do recommend this game. The gameplay is absolutely fantastic. I just hope they do a sequel at some point with a longer game to be honest. Right, thank you for watching, I hope to see you again sometime. Bye.